I was standing in my living room on a Saturday morning with a cardboard box in my hands and absolutely nowhere to put it down. Not because the room was messy. It was not messy. Everything had a place. But every place was full. A shelf of ceramic birds I had stopped noticing years ago. A side table stacked with magazines from a season I could not even name anymore. 3 decorative baskets that held other decorative baskets. I set the box on the floor and just stood there, and I thought, this is not a home that needs cleaning. This is a home that needs an honest conversation. I had spent 40 years walking into other people's houses. Big houses, beautiful houses. Houses with rooms nobody used and closets nobody opened. And I noticed something in every single one of them. Clutter does not announce itself. It arrives quietly, one item at a time, a gift you did not ask for, a kitchen gadget that seemed useful at the store, a chair that stopped serving a purpose but stayed anyway because moving it felt like a decision. And somewhere along the way, without meaning to, you are managing objects instead of living your life. There is a particular tiredness that comes from too much stuff. Not physical tired, something deeper. The kind that makes you feel like your own home is working against you. I know that feeling. I lived it. And I finally did something about it. My name is Ruth. I am 73 years old. Today I'm going to share 10 practical rules for clearing out what no longer serves you, so your home can feel the way a home is supposed to feel. The first rule is this: stop decluttering by category and start decluttering by room. There is a popular idea that you should gather every item of a single type from your entire house before you decide what to keep. Pull out every piece of clothing, every book, every kitchen tool, all at once. And for some people, maybe that works. But I will tell you what it does to most of us. It creates an overwhelming pile in the middle of a room, exhausts us before we have made a single real decision, and sends us straight to the couch for the rest of the afternoon, with nothing actually done. I tried that method once, about 3 years into my retirement. I pulled every cleaning supply I owned into one pile in the kitchen. There were products under 3 different sinks, in the garage, in a cabinet by the back door. That pile was taller than my kitchen table. I stood there looking at it and felt something close to shame. Not because I had too much, because I suddenly understood how much time and money I had spent on things I did not need and could not even see clearly until they were all in one place. I put most of it back, too tired to decide. That pile took me 4 more days to sort through. Work room by room instead. 1 room, 1 session. Finish before you move. Your energy is real and it is limited. Respect it. The second rule: if you cannot remember the last time you touched it, that is your answer. Memory is a reliable guide here, not emotion, not intention, not the story you tell yourself about maybe needing it someday. If you stand in front of an object and cannot recall a single specific moment of using it or enjoying it in the last 12 months, that object has already left your life in every meaningful way. The only thing remaining is the physical fact of it. I cleaned one client's home for 9 years, Mrs. Sterling. She had a cabinet in her formal dining room filled with silver serving pieces, platters, gravy boats, a set of fish forks she had received as a wedding gift. She asked me to polish that silver every single quarter, for 9 years. I polished silver I had never once seen on a table. She could not remember the last time it had been used either. She just could not imagine letting it go. That silver cost her hours of my time and years of her own mental energy. It served no one. Be honest with yourself. If you cannot remember it, you are not keeping it. You are storing a memory you do not actually have. The third rule: one surface, one purpose. Surfaces collect. That is simply what they do. A kitchen counter that starts with a coffee maker, ends with a coffee maker. A fruit bowl, 3 pieces of mail, a coupon for a store you have not visited, a pen with no cap, and something your granddaughter left the last time she visited. A flat surface with no defined single purpose becomes a landing strip for everything that has no other home. My grandmother kept one thing on her kitchen counter and one thing only: the coffee percolator. Everything else lived somewhere with a door on it. She used to say that a clear counter meant a clear morning. I thought that was just her way of doing things. I understand now that it was wisdom. When I finally cleared every extra item off my own kitchen counter and committed to keeping only what I use every single day, the kitchen felt twice the size, and my mornings felt quieter. Decide what each surface is for. One purpose only. Everything else finds another home or leaves the house entirely. Tell me in the comments, what is the one surface in your home that seems to collect everything no matter how many times you clear it? I have a strong feeling I know the answer for most of you. The fourth rule: stop keeping things out of guilt. This one is harder than it sounds. We keep things because someone gave them to us and we love that person. We keep things because we spent good money on them and throwing them out feels like admitting a mistake. We keep things because our mother owned them and our grandmother owned them before that, and letting them go feels like erasing something. None of that is clutter logic. That is guilt wearing the costume of sentimentality. I kept a set of good china for 11 years after Harold passed. Not because I used it, not because I loved it, because it had been a wedding gift, and getting rid of it felt like dismantling something. Those plates sat in a high cabinet and collected dust and took up space in my kitchen and in my head. One afternoon, I gave the full set to my older daughter, who actually entertains and would use them. The moment I drove away from her house that day, I felt something lift. I had not even known the weight was there until it was gone. Guilt is not a reason to keep something. Usefulness is. Joy is. Guilt is not. The fifth rule: never keep a duplicate unless you use both regularly. This one reveals itself when you start really looking. 2 sets of measuring cups. 3 pairs of scissors in the same kitchen. 4 throw blankets on a single couch. A backup toaster in a cabinet because the current one might stop working someday. Duplicates feel like practical preparedness. Mostly they are just accumulated extras from years of buying replacements without removing the original. I had 6 wooden spoons in one drawer. 6. Not because I needed 6, because I never once looked at how many I had before buying another one. When I lined them all up on the counter, I almost laughed. I cooked dinner for one person. I kept the 2 best ones and donated the rest. The drawer closed properly for the first time in what must have been years. Keep what you use. Keep the best one. If you genuinely use 2, keep 2. Be honest about the rest. The 6th rule: A box at the door changes everything. Decluttering feels enormous when you think of it as a project, something to schedule, something to commit a full weekend to, something requiring decisions and energy you do not always have. But clutter does not arrive all at once. It arrives daily, one object at a time. Your response to it can work the same way. Keep a small box near your front door or near a closet. Nothing elaborate. A cardboard box, a canvas bag, whatever you have. When something lands in your hands that you no longer need, it goes directly into that box. No ceremony, no second guessing. When the box fills up, it goes to a donation center. That is the entire system. Small decisions made consistently over time are far more powerful than one enormous effort made occasionally with your back aching and your patience thin. The 7th rule, ask what you are really keeping it for. We tell ourselves stories about objects. This kitchen gadget will inspire me to cook differently. This exercise equipment is still useful, even if I have not used it in 2 years. These books I have already read will be important to have. These craft supplies are waiting for a project I will absolutely start soon. These stories are not lies exactly. They are optimistic. But optimism about an object is not the same as a relationship with it. My grandmother had a phrase she used for things that had no honest answer to the question. She called them hope items, things you kept on hope rather than on use. She was not harsh about it. She was just clear. She would hold something up and say, "Is this a hope item or a use item?" If the honest answer was hope, out it went. She did not buy things she did not need, and she did not keep them either. Her small house was the most peaceful place I have ever stood in my life. Ask the question. Be honest with the answer. Hope is a beautiful thing. It is just not a storage strategy. What is one thing in your home right now that you are keeping purely on hope? Tell me in the comments. I think you already know what it is. The 8th rule. Your bedroom is not a storage room. This is the one most people do not want to look at directly. The bedroom accumulates in a particular way, slowly, privately. A chair that catches clothing, a closet that holds things from a life that no longer quite fits, underbed storage that has not been opened in 3 years, a dresser top with 17 small objects that serve no daily purpose. And the result is that you sleep in a room that asks something of you just by existing. Your nervous system registers it even when your eyes are closed. Clearing a bedroom is not just about order. It is about rest, real rest. The kind that comes when you close your eyes and the room around you is quiet in every sense. Remove what does not belong. Clear the surfaces. Open the closet and be honest. Your bedroom should be the most peaceful room in your home, not the most crowded. The 9th rule. Let the good things out of the cabinet. I watched a woman I work for keep her crystal glasses locked in a cabinet for decades. She was saving them for a special occasion, a perfect dinner party, the right guess, the right moment. Mrs. Carmichael. She died at 82 years old, and as far as I know, those glasses were still in that cabinet. Not one perfect party ever came. Not one ordinary Tuesday ever seemed good enough. You are the special occasion. Today, right now, is the special occasion. The good dishes and the pretty candles and the crystal you inherited and the linens that have never been unfolded, those are not museum pieces. They are yours. They were made to be used. If you are keeping something because it is too good for everyday use, I want you to hear this directly. Your everyday life is good enough. Use the good things or give them to someone who will. There is no reason to wait. Tell me in the comments, do you have something put away for a special occasion that never quite arrives? You are not alone. I promise you that. The 10th rule, finish what you start before you start something else. This is the rule that determines whether any of the others actually take hold. We clear out a closet halfway and stop because we found something interesting. We empty a drawer and then leave the contents on the counter for a week while we decide. We start a donation box and never actually drive it anywhere. Incomplete decluttering is sometimes worse than none at all, because now you have disorder in 2 places instead of 1. And you have the added weight of an unfinished thing following you through the house. 1 room, 1 drawer, 1 shelf, but finish it. Make the decision. Move the box out of the house that same day if you can. Do not give yourself time to second guess what is already gone. Completion is what makes decluttering feel like relief instead of just more work. When your home holds only what you actually use and what genuinely brings you something real, a shift happens that is difficult to describe until you feel it. The rooms breathe differently. You move through them differently. You stop managing and start living. That is not a small thing. After 40 years of walking into other people's homes, I can tell you, the most beautiful houses I ever worked in were not the biggest ones or the most decorated ones. They were the ones where every object had a reason to be there, where nothing asked for your attention that did not deserve it. Tending is a relationship you maintain, and you cannot tend something properly when you are buried under the weight of things that have already served their purpose and stayed too long past it. Clear out what no longer belongs, not all at once, not with a weekend of back pain and hard decisions, slowly, honestly, 1 thing at a time. I want to know in the comments, which one of these 10 rules speaks to where you are right now in your own home? Not your plan for the future. Right now, today, where's the heaviest spot? Tell me. I read every single comment. And if this kind of honest, practical conversation is useful to you, please subscribe. This channel is for women who want a home that feels the way a home is supposed to feel, without wearing themselves out to get there. I will see you in the next one.